As far as the fight world goes, you had another bullshit Apex card. Terrible Apex card. None of that matters. They've just been edging us to this UFC 314 in Miami, and it is a tasty one. It's so funny how far we've come now in 2025, where this is like this card's a big deal. Where this was the run of the mill pay per view back in the day. This would be like, yeah, that's all right. Now we're like, oh my God, look what they're giving us. You know? It's like your wife never makes dinner and she makes some shitty dinner once. You're like, oh, she's the best ever. When you were dating, she was making dinner every night. Now one dinner, you're like, oh my God. When that used to be the standard, this pay-per-view, don't get me wrong, it's good. But compared to back in the day, it's just, this new fan base, like, oh my God, UFC, you're so good to us. Oh, man. You kids you missed the come up. You missed the glory days. I love this card. I absolutely love this card. It's great. It's great. There's so many stories, narratives. You got some old heads that are fighting literally for their entire livelihood. And then you got the young crop coming up. You got the young crop there. And if they get these wins, they're the next in line. That's how it is. God, you just look at it, the stories are all the same. Patricio Pitbull had a phenomenal career in Bellator. We've been waiting for him to come to the UFC. He's not young. He has all the miles on him, and they give him a Yair Rodriguez. Enjoy that. Enjoy that. Enjoy that. The Bryce Mitchell, Silva fight. This one's interesting, right? Because obviously Bryce Mitchell has been in the headlines for the wrong reasons lately. And anybody who knows Bryce knows he's actually a good person, but obviously has some insane beliefs and is steered in the wrong direction. That's whatever. But the dude can fight. Say what you want about him. I know this whole Hitler stuff and all that bullshit and flat earth and the devil, he thinks Silva's the devil and he's having these horrible dreams and they're trying to tempt him. It's a bunch of malarkey. It's some crazy shit. He hasn't been sleeping. That's a whole nother narrative we should get into. But at the end of the day, take all that out. If this is just black and white, A fighter versus B fighter, blue corner versus red corner, Bryce Mitchell can straight up fight, dude. Straight up. Bryce can fight. I know this was like a disciplined fight. Not to just fight for Silva, man. Can he go out there and throw a flying knee and starch him? He's explosive, yes. Bryce's fucking grappling is trouble, dude. It's trouble. So for those of you who are tuning into this card because you want to see the anti-Semitic Bryce Mitchell, the pro-Hitler Bryce Mitchell get his ass whooped, you might leave pretty sad. The dude, and for those of you that know Bryce, you're not familiar with his career, the dude can fight. Straight up. Bryce Mitchell can fight. What's alarming about this, though, is when he says he hasn't been sleeping, right? And he has these dreams and the devil and all that. When I hear a fighter's not sleeping this far out, I'm like, ugh. So hopefully there's no more MMA media, though. There's no actual journalists. So it's not like you're going to have the Nelk boys asking Bryce Mitchell if he's getting enough sleep and having a good camp. So we don't find out that important stuff. But if anybody close to Bryce, anybody in the MMA sphere finds out that Bryce has not been sleeping at all leading up to this fight, the night before, that happens to the best of them. Happened to me, happened to some of the top fighters no sleep before the fight is okay. It's the Thursday that's important. You can do one night. The night before the fight, if you're sleeping like a baby, that's weird. Your sleep should be disrupted. It's all good. You're still going to be able to perform. But in camp, that's an issue. So, I would pick Bryce Mitchell in this fight, but I need to know if the homeboy's been getting any sleep. If they tell me he's not sleeping, I'm taking Silva all day. Silva's a big favorite too. But again, I know everyone hates Bryce and he's this horrible person, all that shit. Throw that out the window. This is just fighting. Bryce can fucking fight. But if a crazy Bryce isn't sleeping, we got a problem. I can't bet on him if he's not sleeping. I'm going to ask Nick about it. Maybe Nick Davis knows. He knows some weird shit. Michael Chandler, Paddy Pimblett. Love Michael Chandler. You guys know this. He's been on the show multiple times. We had guests. He's such a good dude. Great father. He's had an exciting career in the UFC. Successful, money-wise, yeah. Money-wise. As far as wins, no. I think he's lost 4 out of his last 5. He had the win over Tony Ferguson. So that's the one similar win him and Paddy have is over Tony Ferguson, which, it's a different Tony. It's not like you're beating Tony in his prime when he's one of the best, if not the best, 155er walking the planet and couldn't get the Khabib fight. They're not fighting that Tony Ferguson, but they both beat Ferguson. I'd say Paddy had a more impressive win. Chandler, there's some struggles earlier, but all anybody remembers is the Spartan kick to the face. Chandler's interesting because if he doesn't win this one, for a few guys, so if Patricio doesn't win, if Chandler doesn't win, we'll get to Volkanovski. If Volkanovski doesn't win, the ride's over. That's what's at stake here. The ride's over. So for Chandler, he's like road to the title, champ shit, all that. That's over. You lose to a young line in Paddy Pimblett, and it's over. And you've lost 5 out of your last 6. If you lost to Paddy, you've lost 4 out of your last 5. Again, exciting. And there's always going to be a home for him at the UFC. But as far as fighting the top dogs, he's only lost to kind of the tip of the spear guys. Charles Oliveira, there's nothing wrong with that. Justin Gaethje, nothing wrong with that. Fought a weather Tony Ferguson, did work there. Spartan kick to the fucking face. Dustin Poirier, tip of the spear. Charles Oliveira, tip of the spear. And he got molly-whopped in that Charles Oliveira fight. That's what's, if you're a Michael Chandler fan, which I am, that's what's a little alarming. The other ones, he'll make like a bonehead mistake, he won't wrestle. Or just, guns a-blazing, get caught, something happens, and he loses. You're like, all right, but it was exciting. The Charles Oliveira one wasn't that exciting. He got his ass whooped for 5 rounds. The last 2 minutes, you cheered because he kind of came back, did some work there. But he just got dismantled for 25 minutes. He got dismantled for 21 minutes. There's 4 minutes where there's a little back and forth in that 5th round. Remember, he like picked Charles Oliveira up and okay. That's what's alarming. So I think him competing at the tip of the spear level, the top 5 level, is probably over. So now they give him Paddy Pimblett, who's outside the top 5. You lose to this young line in Paddy Pimblett, the Liverpool finest, and the ride's over. The ride's over. The ride is definitely over. People have a lot to say about Paddy Pimblett. Obviously, he's, he just gets a response out of the fan base. Has a lot of haters, a lot of lovers. Again, like Bryce Mitchell, the motherfucker can fight, dude. And you want to talk about out of anybody on the card, and there's some stars. Yair, Patricio, Bryce, Silva, Chandler, Volkanovski, pound for pound number 1 for a long time. Diego Lopez, oh my God. There's not even close to a bigger star than Paddy Pimblett. If Paddy Pimblett gets through this fight, if he passes this test, because remember, y'all thought he was going to lose to Bobby Green. Y'all thought he was going to lose to King Green. He beat the fuck out of Bobby Green. Beat the shit out of him. Remember, y'all thought, for his first real test, he passed that with flying colors. Oh, no, King Green, he's older. That doesn't matter. Now he's fighting Michael Chandler, who's no punk. So keep the same energy when he fights Michael Chandler. But I'll tell you the narrative will be, no, he got an aged Michael Chandler. He's older. But as far as star quality, I've interviewed everybody. There ain't nobody that checks all the boxes and gets as close as they can to Conor McGregor in the height of his fame than Paddy Pimblett. The dude has the it factor. The dude can fucking fight. He checks all boxes. He's the closest thing they have on the roster. Not Topuria, doesn't have the charisma that Paddy has. Not Volkanovski, doesn't have the charisma. Doesn't have that X factor. Out of anybody on the UFC roster, and I've been around everybody, there's no one close to Paddy Pimblett. That dude has something about him.